What's up, guys? Welcome to episode number 100 and Steve Kinzer of the Always Race Day podcast presented by the Carlotto Group. I'm here with Josh, Caleb, Noah, Damon. We got a full house today, talking all the racing action from the weekend. But first, Damon,
Yes.
you ever watch a monster truck show and kind of think to yourself, like, man, I want to make a ton of money and buy this series and make it cooler?
Can't say it's crossed my mind.
It's as part of our goals with Always Race Day, like maybe we like fundraise and like end up buying Monster Jam.
Again, can't say it's crossed my mind.
Well, for the big races, I want to bring back the Crush cars, and the first place I'm going to go to get those cars is the Carlotto Group. I'm going to buy all of them from there because they're cheap, guaranteed that they're clean, and we'll spray paint them. We can take care of that. That's easy stuff. Spray paint the Carlotto Group cars for the monster trucks to run over. But that's the first place I would call if I'm looking for a car, drivable or crushable. I'm going to the Carlotto Group. They are presenting sponsors. Shout out to them. Appreciate them. Let's get this show underway.
Does that count as ridiculous race idea?
No. Monster trucks crushing crush cars have, like, that's been done.
What? But going to get a brand new car from Carlotto Group does not seem like a smart choice financially.
The slogan of our tour is going to be the F1 of monster truck racing. We're just going to overspend every chance we get. Maybe pay for a parking lot in Monaco. Run over a couple Formula One cars. That'd be cool.
We're off
Sounds
to
expensive.
a blazing start.
We are.
If money's no
We really
object, I'm
are.
the best promoter in the world. So, all right. How are you guys doing? What was your weekends like? I went to my 25th straight Monster Jam in Des Moines. I think I'm a record holder. I'm going to call Guinness tomorrow and check it out.
You know, you have to pay for those. They're really expensive.
I would pay for one.
All right.
I got the Scooby-Doo shirt
For
today.
that one.
For them. Yes.
Yeah, for most years consecutively attending a Monster Jam event in the same city.
Well, your standards aren't very high, are they?
You know, that, like, Monster Jam used to send some pretty talented fields to Des Moines, and it was probably over a decade ago.
Now they just send Gravedigger 7 to the
Yeah,
shows.
they just send, like, trucks that people know with drivers that have either peaked already or haven't ever peaked and probably never will. I was going to get an Avenger shirt. He's an independent monster truck. Avenger is like the Notre Dame football of Monster Jam. So they didn't have any of his shirts. And then I was going to get a Gravedigger shirt, and I saw who the driver was. I don't think the motorsports world is ready for that take. I don't want to fire that off right now. So I didn't want to buy a Gravedigger shirt this weekend.
For everyone out there, he fired that take off in the group chat.
He already did.
Yeah, it's pretty blatant. I don't want to just say that. That's the whole take. No,
Why do you want an Avengers shirt?
Avenger's my all-time favorite. I love Jim Kohler. He used to freestyle at Vegas, and he'd jump in the pond, and like that was a yearly thing. And he's the only guy to race in every Monster Jam World Finals, and he's done it as an independent team. It's crazy.
Damon, I think that was an illegal action, but I'm gonna allow it.
Hey, I created the damn game, so I create the
You
rules.
guys can't be playing this game so seriously. Like, we're gonna have point standings at some point.
Well, I got to request a waiver because I missed the first points race.
This is true, but don't worry about it. None of us got bingo.
Perfect.
It's just funny because I'm just sitting here casually listening to conversation, and then I hear Jim Kohler, and I went, oh.
See?
I went to Monster
did the
Jam
exact
today.
same
That should have
thing.
been the free space. Like, yeah, it didn't.
No, we established that the free space is Connor Breeze.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me breathe? Is that like a?
No, it's just you existing.
Oh, cool. All right. I do that, so it's completely fair.
That's exactly why it's free.
The day you don't is the day we don't get the free space.
But no, that'll be good. We'll play an episode at my funeral. and people can play bingo in the crowd. No.
Oh, we're going for a blackout that day.
Yeah, right. I hope so. I hope everyone does that. You do get to see like one good driver that's probably going to the World Finals. So that was cool. Tristan England drove, I think Earthshaker is the name of it. But some of the guys, like the top drivers, like take a wheelie or just a regular jump and throw it into a stoppie. Like it's to do it with a monster truck. It looks very hard to do. It looks really impressive. So I like it though. It's mostly now about the streak of being to 25 in a row, but no, I had a good time. All the kids around me loved it also. I was sitting next to
Include yourself in that category.
Well, I was sitting next to a Gravedigger fan, and this girl was like, she's going to kick his ass. And I'm looking over like, dude, do you know who's driving that? Like, definitely not going to win. No, Gravedigger's losing this. Lost first round. First race. I've never seen a worse performance by a Gravedigger truck in Des Moines.
Is that the bar?
Dude, it's the pinnacle. The Gravedigger is the Yankees. Avenger is Notre Dame. I'll compare the other.
How do you compare Yankees and Notre Dame?
What do you mean?
In a weird way, that makes a lot of sense.
Thank you, Noah. Thank you.
I understand what you're trying to say.
Okay, but like you're like, oh yes, Yankees, baseball, Notre Dame, college sport.
Yeah, but like everybody hates the Yankees.
Everybody
hates Notre Dame.
I don't think everyone hates Gravedigger, but like everyone knows Gravedigger.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a more recognizable team out there than the Yankees? Like
No.
the Patriots stuff is weird.
The Dodgers hang in there.
The Dodgers.
No. How much they've choked in the playoffs and got cheated by the Astros? I don't think so.
When was the last time the Yankees were in the World Series?
That's fine.
In the
I
World
just feel like
Series.
the
Did
logo's
not
like,
win.
Now we're arguing resumes of teams. Let's get back to race.
It's the first time that we've gotten off topic and you're the one that wants to get back on top.
I know.
This is not always
Oh,
game day.
shit. I forgot.
What?
Nothing.
Okay. Terrible podcasting etiquette.
This
Say what you want.
is your fault.
Yeah, it is that. You're right. All right, let's get into some real talk. We can always hop back to anything I want to fix about Monster Jam. It's not the most important stuff. What do you guys want to start with? NASCAR today? Martinsville? Kyle Larson takes 2 tires after 2009 Formula One champion J.J. Yaley brought out the yellow flag there. So Larson takes 2 tires, ends up winning it. What do you guys think of Martinsville?
Not enough green flag passes for the lead, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean that's
a lot of work.
Yeah.
That's the nicest way you could put it, because I thought it looked exactly like it did last year, and last year was a Saturday night, right, Damon?
Yeah.
That was the worst Martinsville race I've ever seen last year. So my bar is super low. But
Yeah, and I want to know what the hell we're going to do to this package, and why is the work not started today?
We said this. I think we said those exact words a year ago on this, and
I agree.
we're now a full year and then some into it, and it's not gotten any better. I mean, hell, Larson won, and it was the most boring race that I've watched all year.
Thank God Larson won, because I would have said way worse things about it.
Let me ask you this then. So, like, at what point, what do you do with the package? Because I feel like we're at a point now where the problem is the car. The guys can send it in so deep and just, slam the brake pedal. The shifting, it's making it to where like there's no driving aspect of it. Like everybody's so equal that's what's making it hard. So like, what do you do at that point?
Shifting at Martinsville is blasphemous. I don't think we should be doing that.
Shifting at Martinsville is the reason that the package is the way, or the reason that the racing is the way it is, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
So what do you do?
You
You say
take away shifting?
I mean,
mess with the gear ratio enough to.
I think
Are we
change
going to
the gear.
automatic cars?
No, I think you might.
Yeah, I'm just.
But I think you go change the
Xfinity
gearing.
cars.
You got to change the gearing on it. The gear ratios on it's got to be changed. Got to be messed with. If they're going to keep with the five gears, they got to change it up somehow, because we never had this problem when we were running 4 gears there.
Give them 900 horsepower too while we're at it.
Right.
Any kind of thing like that would help. 'cause-
Well, so
Give
here's
them
the issue,
horsepower,
though.
period.
The
More
issue
horsepower everywhere.
itself is going to be, so now you have to set up a car that specifically can only run for dirt. Then you have to turn around and set up a car with the gearbox that's specifically set for one track. So therefore, you basically just have 2 cars set for 2 to 3 races a
Okay,
year,
all right,
and
hold
just
on.
more
Just
money
slow
that they
your
have to
roll, slow
invest
your
in.
roll, slow
I
your
hate
roll.
to
hold
break
on.
the news to
Bristol,
you.
Bristol Dirt doesn't have to come after Martinsville or before Martinsville. That's a different thing. Also, we're in NASCAR. This isn't hobby stock racing. This isn't your local dirt track that has a weekly show that's not on TV and the winner gets $700. That's not it. This is the top form of racing in the world and the country, stock car racing. If they have to prepare for 2 wildly different tracks 2 weeks in a row, so be it. Do it.
I hate to break the news to you here on this, though, is they used to have like 8,000 cars in their shops. Like, so going from
You don't
a
get
dirt
chassis
car,
G8475.
And the thing is with that, though, too, is now, like, we've been an issue since this car came out, and it's still an issue, is parts. You're struggling to get parts because they all come from the same supplier.
cars are still back out there each week.
I want whoever gave Hendrick the illegal greenhouses, I want them fired.
Yes.
It was definitely their fault.
Yeah, no team has ever modified parts that were taken from an outside supplier.
The whole thing was, I mean, I was talking to my dad, my thing that I just said right there is a little tongue in cheek, but he has a good point in that if they send them apart and there's like stuff that teams, what the louver thing was, I guess there was like a little ridge on the inside that they had to shave off to make it fit better. Okay, if the supplier is screwing crap up like that, then I don't want them supplying parts anymore. I would have a pretty damn short leash on that too. What?
The problem is they're the only supplier.
I'd find a new one. I don't care who it. 3D print me some shit.
You can't find. Okay.
I went to Monster Jam today. The Lakers won. The Cubs won. Like I'm reckless. I'm feeling reckless.
If we didn't have a ridiculous race idea before, we do now.
We do now.
That doesn't count. All right.
That's not a ridiculous race idea.
I actually completely agree with Connor.
Let me get cooking in my brain for a fun format.
But Connor, what I will suggest to you is I want you to Google, companies that make louvers and let me know how many results are.
I don't know what I'm gonna come up with here. Companies that make
Nothing.
louvers.
We don't either.
I mean,
I barely even know what a louver is.
Yeah, they just started using the word this year.
It's a made up word.
I don't know. My thing is, it's like, okay,
Oh, you suck on this.
Oh boy.
There's 6 different incorporated companies that come up on the first. It's literally the first thing.
Well, we're down to 5. Damn.
Yeah. No, dude, there's a ton. Yeah, the first page, there's like 15 companies here already.
And they can make enough for NASCAR.
And they're fitted to the right cars, right?
Dude, every company
I just
that's
said the
ever
other
existed
companies screwing stuff up. Like
on the internet.com ever would be shaking in their boots to have NASCAR as a client. I'm sure they would do everything they could to figure that out.
Bingo.
Yeah, because
thank you.
Bill, who's in his back shop with one machine, would be ecstatic to have a NASCAR contract.
Dude,
but
the
there's
MLB schedule is made by 2
Exactly.
elderly people that live out in the boondocks. Like,
Is there anything
Not
on
to
there?
mention, I don't think that Bill in his shed making hood louvers is going to be in your first 6 results on freaking Google, dude.
You might have.
You never know.
He's got a bomb marketing director or something.
Yeah,
Those
he
are
might
definitely
have.
paid
He
results.
might very much use Metro Studios as their marketing, and so therefore it gets him in the.
They're not
You
sponsored.
You did
Get outta
not
here.
just plug.
Get out of
Just
here.
plugged.
Seriously,
Can we,
throwing a
can we
free
kick
ad on
him
my
from the
show?
call for that?
Damn. I'm bringing an always race day banner to Hawkeye Downs, and you're not going to let me not put it anywhere because it's going up.
Absolutely. I don't have any say on that, so good luck.
Oh, sweet. Should be interesting. Are they a no trespassing type of ownership group?
We're not going to get into that here. They are, but you.
Oh, okay, got it.
You really have to earn it.
This would be a good vlog.
We got a spectator climbing the fence, kind of have to earn it, or
I'd be do it during race. I'd do it at midnight before.
We did go to a Hawker Downs race today, so it was a great time.
How was it? What did you guys see?
It wasn't cold at all. They had their first.
What did you
Enduro.
See?
I answered.
Okay.
Their first Enduro was today, so it was chilly.
I'll never forget my 3 laps in an enduro car at Hawkeye Downs on the road course.
In a 1991 Dodge Shadow.
Godspeed. The starter was so bad on that thing. I think it's the starter.
No, somehow I'm driving this car around for 2 days and it's driving just fine. And then they take the car around for 30 minutes and break the car somehow. And so it like keeps shutting off.
So there was a
Caleb-
hairpin on the
Caleb
road
and I
course.
disappeared for 30 minutes. And
There's
we
a
came
hairpin on
back
the
and we're
road
looking,
course,
but
and every
looking.
time that I slowed down to make the hairpin, the car would stop. It was fine everywhere else on the track. The PA was calling me Grandma's Sunday driver because you were so slow. But
In their defense, they were driving a 91 Dodge Shadow. So let's
yeah,
eventually it was going to break.
Caleb's like, "Oh, I got an enduro car for you to drive," and I didn't realize he should have put car in quotes.
All right, I'll send you the invoice for the cost of that car.
Yeah, $4.06 and a Sam's
Yeah, it
Club
was-
membership card. Okay.
It was definitely way more than that.
That is the
Man.
one thing that kind of stunk about Monster Jam this year. I like the freestyle motocross guys, but anytime you can get like a 1996 Toyota Corolla that turns into a transforming dinosaur fireball throwing robot that's facing off with the 2006 Ford SUV, that's some fun shit. You guys didn't catch any of that, did you?
I get you. You
gotta look those videos up on YouTube.
I'm sure I've probably seen them.
Yeah,
I'm
I've
not saying
definitely
when you're
seen them before.
do it when you're not sober. It's like the funniest thing to watch.
Oh, boy.
Why is anything with you like involved not being sober?
You don't
Have
to
you
say-
met the man?
Yeah, seriously. Josh, we have a good
Only
time.
one, technically.
I'm just saying, like, it looks a little dopey if you click on the wrong video, but if you're not sober, you're for sure gonna enjoy it.
I think you're on the wrong website then.
Enjoying Monster
What are
Jam
you
under the
insinuating?
influence.
This is insane. Josh, you better redeem yourself during the IndyCar segment.
Anyway, back
No,
to
I
the NASCAR race.
Today's
Yeah.
not a good day for
Man,
racing
we went
for
down
me,
a
so-
rabbit hole.
Yeah, we did. How did that even start?
A great question.
4 gears at Martinsville, 900 horsepower everywhere. You fix it all. That's my opinion.
All right. Josh Wise had a great thread after the race about Kyle Larson. He said 1 year ago this week, I was on the phone with Kyle Larson. He just finished practice at Martinsville and didn't feel great about what he had. He was on his way home to try and run some iRacing tests and test some techniques we were seeing in the data. Next day when we spoke, he had ran over 500 laps on iRacing and had cut snips of his data and had a game plan since 2017. I've watched him push himself to learn at a track that he hasn't felt comfortable at, parentheses one of few. The most notable part of that is it has remained the track that he's put the most work into. Seeing Kyle win today is probably one of the coolest wins that I've had a small piece in, watching one of the greats push himself for years and finally get the reward that he's earned. Pretty sweet. Congrats, Kyle Larson. I thought that was pretty cool, that story, and just hearing how much Kyle Larson works, how competitive he is, and what he does to try and put himself ahead of drivers. I think it separates him from a lot of the guys that you see in racing. And to do it on the week he was named to this NASCAR 75 list, I had people tweeting me like, don't you think that recency bias is a little up there? And I'm like, well, he's won a title, so.
Yeah, do we think it's at all like funny or ironic that they announced this week that he's in the NASCAR 75 and then he wins at Martinsville, and just very conveniently right at the end Chase Elliott passes a bunch of cars to get into the top 10 so that they can all be like, oh, Chase Elliott returned, make top 10. Like,
He was one of the
NASCAR break.
fastest cars on the track at the end of the race, though. So
Yeah, I
Chase
wonder
Elliott
why.
Chase Elliott went to Victory Lane at Atlanta Motor Speedway on Saturday with Chase Sexton. Like,
No, wait.
yeah, you can write that one down. That was going to get mentioned anyway. We'll talk about it later. But no, I mean, the amount of guys that could actually pass, it pissed me off. Like, Bubba Wallace started, I don't know if he kicked it into high gear or what. He got into Denny Hamlin a little bit there, but he was finding a little speed to pass like half a car per 5 laps. And like, that looked like a lot of passing. Elliott at the end was on a run.
Blaney
Oh.
was right at the start too.
yes,
Guys at Monster Trucks didn't quite see that.
Yeah, he went. Where did he start? 24th.
Blaney started 31st, and he drove up into the teens.
Yeah,
by
it was
the end of the
29th
stage.
after cars dropping to the rear.
Yeah, and Chastain started 34th and didn't go anywhere until his tire strategy, which was pretty cool to watch for about 20 laps when it was working with him and Gill end up there in the top 2.
We just like I don't know why in half that was tire strategy deals and stuff, but like they gotta fix this soon because like the All-Star race is on a short track. You know,
I
like,
actually just found a wonderful stat about Martinsville. So, passes per lap on non-super speedway ovals in 2023. First was Fontana with 21.7. 2 was Bristol Dirt with 20.9. 3 was Las Vegas with 14.9. Richmond was 4th with 11. Phoenix was 5th with 9.2, and Martinsville was 6th with 5.8.
so you're saying Bristol Dirt beat 4 of those tracks?
Yeah,
Man, haters are on the hot seat.
but it's crazy that 4, 5, and 6 are short tracks.
Yeah, I mean,
These
Yeah.
cars are so durable too. You can't really just like move people out of the way quite like you used to as well.
I
so
don't know.
that-
It seemed
yeah.
pretty easy to move people out of the way today.
I don't know. I just saw people like Bubba, the way that he got into Hamlin. I feel like in the old car, if
I don't
he'd
think
hit
he was trying to
that
move him
hard-
out of the way. That's the thing. Like, I don't think Bubba was trying to move him out of the way. I think he was just sailing into the corner so fast that he hit his bumper a couple times. You know, I don't think that was.
Why
Like,
was he sailing it into the corner though? If he has no intention of hitting him, why is he sailing it into the corner?
I'm just saying he was coming in too hot.
Well, regardless of the intention, I feel like in the old car, you
Well,
hit
I mean,
somebody
look
that
at
hard, they
Kyle
go.
Busch.
I'm with you on that.
Kyle Busch bumped Corey LaJoy out of the way with no issues. Easy.
I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it's more difficult.
Oh yeah, because he hit him so hard it sent him up 4 grooves. I think there's a difference between drilling someone 4 grooves up the track. and just
I
trying
feel
to
like-
move him up a
I
lot.
think
I
what
would say it
Noah's
was a
trying
groove
to
and a half.
say, what Noah's trying to say is if you were in the old cars, what Bubba did to Denny's going up to where Corey LaJoy ended up at.
Pretty close, yeah. I just feel like incidental contact is easier to get away with in this car than it was in the old one.
Yeah, to a point. I'd agree. I just have so much like my biggest wish is that they improve this package before North Wilkesboro. Something.
Yeah. They gotta fix the dirty air too.
Give me 2 cases of Gorilla Glue and put it on the shifter. Don't look at me like that, Caleb. I just want them to fix the damn short track package. It's
I think that
it's obviously damaged. It's obviously crap. So like Richmond, it looked like we might have taken a step and it wasn't great, but it was okay.
I think going back to the original,
where it was.
I think going back to Caleb's original point, though, it's like we talked last year. It's the car that's the problem, not the package. That's the downside of it. Because these cars are built like the Trans Am cars, who run road courses and are bigger tracks.
For you guys at home, Damon's a big IMSA hater, and when the car was described as similar to
No, I'm a big-
pissed.
I'm a big NASCAR fan, and
Yeah.
Denny Hamlin has put it very clear on his podcast this last week
I'm
that
excited for tonight's
these-
episode. He had some words today after the race.
that these cars are not built as a NASCAR. It's more built along the lines of the IMSA and Trans Am cars.
And he
The
called
first, correct me if I'm wrong, the first test for this car was at the Charlotte Roval, right?
I believe so. It was
So,
around. It was around there. Yeah.
They built these cars the way that I at least have seen it interpreted it to race quote unquote better at road courses. I feel like they built this whole car around the idea of, oh, we're going to race really good at the road course. We're going to add more road courses, and then completely ruin the package everywhere else.
I don't think it's ruined it everywhere else. I think it's made mile and a halfs more exciting. I think the super speedway package is pretty good, pretty fine as it is. The car itself has issues with wheels falling off. We saw another one today with fires starting. We saw one of those on Saturday with the mud flap rain thing. And we'll talk the rain tires in a sec. But so, Damon, can I ask you, like, can we put them in Xfinity cars for the short tracks?
I mean, to be honest with you, I think the whole series should have been in an Xfinity car anyway.
All right.
Because those cars were the best cars that they had
That's our take. That's our
prior
take
to
now.
the last generation. Even the last generation of Cup cars, the Xfinity cars were still better than the Cup cars, and they put on a better show anywhere else, everywhere else. It did not matter what track they were at; those cars put on a better show. This car isn't putting on a great show at what built this sport.
At short tracks.
Yes.
I just wanted to specify for the people. Yeah, you're completely right. Like, I think I think you go hard at testing, take them back to Martinsville, test specifically at Martinsville. Right, Bristol's going to be dirty for the next 6 weeks, and then after that, maybe you can test there. But go test them at Martinsville. Maybe you have one test at Richmond there, and maybe test at pave short. Maybe go test at Bowman Gray or something. I don't care, but throw the damn wrench at the car and see what you can figure out to get these cars passing each other with ease. Because whatever we watched today was not exciting. I feel bad if I would like go on and tell people to go watch this race that was happening, and it turned out like that.
Unfortunately, downforce and aerodynamics has taken away passing with ease.
Right, and it's to the point where I'm like, if you can't figure it out, go try and figure it out. Go try to hit a few home runs multiple times. You got a few attempts. Go try to figure that out. I'm sure someone in the testing department, someone in the car design department is significantly close to Chris Bryan and can put one over the fence, but go do your best to figure it out. And if you can't, like, put them in different cars for short tracks. I don't really care. IndyCar
30%.
IndyCar has
30%.
3 aero kits.
Yeah.
It is fine if you have them in Xfinity cars for a night at Martinsville.
Because 30% of your playoff tracks are short tracks. So you can't have over a quarter of your playoffs suck because you can't figure out how to fix the car.
Yeah, it's just
They can. They will.
I was gonna say, and they will.
I mean, they did last year to a degree.
I think the race in the fall, though, is a little bit better than the race in the spring.
That's because the race of the spring was horrible.
Right.
that.
But I
and
think
you have.
I still think the race last fall was better than this one.
Yes, but you
As
have
well.
100 more laps of strategy you're able to work with. And compare how long stage 3 was today to how long stage 3 is in the fall. Maybe that's a Noah question, but that's what made that better, was because everyone was on different strategies. Noah's going to the research center, I think. Either that or
That might have been the security alarm.
Yeah. So if you guys didn't hear this before the show, Noah said if I drop everything and run away, I think I accidentally called the cops to my apartment. I'm not exactly sure what happened with that, but we see him on screen now. Now he's coming back.
Survey says
no way that was the cops.
no.
No cops.
Was that the cops?
No
or
cops.
Did you go to the
No.
war room to check your stats on stage lengths at Martinsville?
Stage lengths at Martinsville. Off the top of my head, I think the 500 lap race, I think it was like 125 each. Let me look.
Wow. So maybe stage 3 was the same length. So that doesn't answer my question. I have no clue what I'm talking about then.
Let's see.
Because
Man, that's
today-
not a big square.
Today was 80 and 80, right?
I
it was.
believe so.
So
Let's look.
what's the last?
No, it was like 80 and then like 120 or something. Like,
Yeah.
Stage 2 was a little bit
hours to get
longer.
to 200. Okay, so it's 200 laps.
So
Yeah,
the stages are
stage
130
3.
and 130 last fall.
So
compared
stage
to
3 was
today.
the same length. I have no answers to why this race sucked compared to last fall, and last fall wasn't great. But
Dirty year, you can't pass. I mean,
why
last
could they pass
fall.
more last fall?
You know what? I'm gonna look real quick. Last fall, you had 6 cautions for 53 laps. There were 8 lead changes last fall. I think that
There was less
we-
cautions and less lead changes this year. Like, I don't understand that at all.
yeah, we might be overhyping the fall race a hair on paper at least.
I
forget
think
what-
the fall race also got overhyped a little bit because of the implications that had.
That's true.
Yeah, that
with
that
it.
always helps a race. That's like why I talk about standings all the time. What happened in the fall race that was significant? Wasn't there?
Well, that was Bell winning to get in, and then
Yeah.
also
Some guy
the
passed a
Mountain.
couple
I was
cars.
watching Fox all weekend. I didn't even see one replay of it.
Some guy just passed a
didn't
couple
see one?
cars. That was
No,
all.
I took a lot of bathroom breaks, so I might have missed.
You must
it.
have been watching the wrong Fox network.
I didn't want to talk about that. I guess I'll just come out and say this. Bobby Labonte sucked in the booth. I'm sorry, Bobby. I know you didn't want to suck in the booth. He was terrible, quite honestly. Made me look. It felt like I was watching golf, and he wasn't allowed to raise his voice or something stupid. Just sucked. Like, I am so go get Pat McAfee, go get John Cena. I really don't even care if they know about racing. I just want someone with energy.
Yeah,
I will
it
offer up
wasn't
an
even-
Adderall to any on-air host.
It wasn't even that he was like putting in like a whole lot of knowledge. Like, I mean, there'd be things here and there that he would notice, but otherwise, like, I feel like just a casual racing fan could have pointed out most of what he was saying.
He tried to make a joke. He tried to make a funny, like I try to do sometimes, and I come up short, and I completely miss the baseball, swing and miss. And he mentioned like the company on Corey LaJoie's car,
Yes.
and then said that must stand for like "see you later" or something. I'm like, yeah, I don't know if one of the 40 companies sponsoring a race car for this damn race deserves to be on the broadcast going, what's that company? And it's not like anyone jumped in to explain what the company was to salvage anything. I'd be pissed if I was that company at NASCAR, not even at Corey LaJoie. Like,
well, and when you
but-
think about what that company actually is, too,
I don't
it's
know
like,
what Nuge
whoa.
is. It's Nuge. I have no clue, but it's not my job to know that. And that's why they're on a race car. They want to advertise for people, and advertising works. But not when the broadcaster's like, I don't even know what that company is. It's like, well, it's one gracious enough to fucking give this team money, so maybe like don't insult them on the broadcast. I thought that was stupid, frankly. Like,
It was not Bobby Labonte's finest hour.
no, what the hell's an interstate battery anyway? All right,
Man.
Caleb, I need you.
Yes, ma'am.
Rain tires on Friday night. I was down at Knoxville doing practice night down there. We had a dramatic truck race.
2 questions. 1, we had a truck race, and 2, we used rain tires for the truck race.
Yeah,
And
I like.
they
the
even
idea.
emphasized it that it is wet tires, not rain tires.
Did you
is what
guys
they-
know
That's
that
'cause you
the
can't-
average
you can't-
speed for the truck race was 45 miles an hour?
I did
Is
actually.
there a lot of
Is it-
caution laps?
They ran
you
more
know.
caution laps than green flag laps, they said.
Nice. Awesome.
NASCAR had no idea what they were doing. Everybody, all their JV people working the truck races need to go find new jobs because that was bad.
That's a bold take. Holy cow.
No, dude, That was
Jesus.
no, dude. That was
No, at least
poorly
I just called
officiated.
out one of like my childhood heroes on the podcast, and Noah turned around and called out every employee in a series.
Noah just said, dude,
Makes me look a lot better. I don't know about how the podcast is doing. This is a thanks for listening. If you're still here, appreciate you guys.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty frustrating that we didn't seem like we could actually use the rain weather tires, whatever.
So hold on, because my takeaway was and I was trying to tune in a little bit. I watched a few laps. No major issues with the rain tires. I think that's a huge thumbs up. As I've said, the first time NASCAR tries something, it can turn into a shit show. But the second time, they always take a major step forward in almost everything they do. So for them to hit on that the first time, I really appreciate that.
You can't mess up if you don't use them.
The rain tires were great for the 5 seconds that they got to go on the trucks, and then they said
Was it not more than 10 laps?
it was 25, which is like 10 minutes at Martinsville.
Okay.
25 laps, competition caution, basically.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
they threw
All
the
right.
competition yellow,
'Cause
and then
they didn't start it that early, like after the lightning thing hit, right?
that one I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
I do
off
know
the
there
top
were
of-
some journalists trying to let them get Brad Perez testing the rain tires on the track, which I would have thought was really cool. I think you'd probably see that if something like that was happening at a smaller track or dirt track, any other series. I think NASCAR can. You don't have to be pompous 24/7. You don't have to be uber professional on pit road all the damn time. I think that would have been cool to see. That's all I'm saying about that. And also, like, get some damn data. That's your friend. Like, if he wanted to do that, like, what the hell's the harm in letting him do that? He's fine at road course racing. What's he gonna do? Suck? Oh no.
Yeah, I don't know. I understand, because then you get into like a thing of like, well, you let him do it. Why don't you let so and so do it? Why don't you let us do? Like that's kind of the door that you open there. But no, I guess I didn't understand. I was just disappointed, I guess, in the ability of not being able to use them like I guess I thought we were going to.
Like everybody
And-
else thought we were going to.
Yeah,
Literally, this was probably the best track to try it. Like, it was probably your best opportunity to do something like this, and they, in my opinion, completely wasted it.
Well, and then here's the other thing. Okay, so they say, okay, competition caution lap 25. We're going to go back to slicks. Pit road was still soaked. So then they were like, oh, we got to dry pit road off. And so we were under caution for, 6 years. And then.
Well, it's how they started the race too, was under caution, running pace laps for like a whole half hour. It felt like.
Yeah.
What was the difference in pace lap 30 that you ran versus 15? Like, you're not getting a whole lot more dried out at that point. Just let them run it at that point.
Yeah, it was kind of just a disaster on.
Should have just
that
seen what your wet weather tires could do. Like if you can race in a mist or a little more significant amount of rain. And yeah, it could have been a shit show and we could have junked a bunch of trucks, but it would have been more entertaining than watching
It's a
them
perfect-
parade around by the pace
it's
car.
a
You can have
perfect
shit show in the
experiment.
truck series at Pocono on a Saturday at 11:45 a.m. It's not
Exactly.
done. I've seen it.
But
Like,
That's what I'm saying. Like, this was a perfect prime opportunity to test this as an experiment in a lower series
I just want to ask:
for the bigger series.
does ARCA have rain tires?
No.
Caleb,
Don't think they could
shut
afford
off
that.
ARCA like that. They're talented.
They will now.
I just answered your question. I didn't
I-
like.
I thought,
Hey, I was gonna say,
thought
keep
I
in
had-
mind it
I thought
does-
I had a great sports week, and I feel way worse about NASCAR than when we started this episode. So also in that race, Carson Hocevar apparently might have had a flat tire. Everyone assumed he right hooked. Who do you right hook, Caleb?
Taylor
God.
Gray.
Taylor Gray.
You look great.
So he right hooked him.
I was
and
heavily
then-
intoxicated, and I remember that.
Yeah,
We'll get you an award.
We'll get you a gold star and a cookie, big guy.
I was
My
talking.
my Twitter was a bad place Friday night. We'll just put it that way.
Someone should have let me know. I would have wanted to see that. No, but like I guess. So what happened after? Like he posted a picture to prove that he had a tire flat.
He did come on the radio and he said if. So okay, let's back up a little bit. So
yeah, I should have just said, "Tell me what happened with Hocevar," but go.
So that happened. He gets parked 2 laps because NASCAR said you intentionally wrecked him. You're being parked. And Hocevar came over the radio and said, as if it wasn't obvious that I blew a tire. And they showed a replay. And in my opinion, just from me, who, does not race in NASCAR, but in my opinion, you can see him turn into him. And then as he's sliding, you see the smoke from the tire and it blow. So
I saw a tweet from somebody in the industry. I don't know, parallel to Caleb, I suppose. Probably, probably hasn't had laps in a cup car. I forget who tweeted it. But they said, like, point blank, I put this up on the big screen. I can't see Carson's hands move.
And that's
it's hard to tell. It was hard to tell.
I think every driver needs to wear bright neon gloves.
Yeah, that's the part where it's hard. And it's very possible that like the tire was going down and then actually blew after. And so that's what we saw. So me and Josh kind of talked about this, and this goes back to what we talked about a couple weeks ago, where like that standard has kind of been started now, where like we heavily believe that that's something Hocevar would do. So now even if he didn't do it, it's like the boy who cried wolf, because even if he didn't wreck him intentionally, we can point to other times where he has done stuff like that. So it kind of just makes it seem like that's something he would do.
Not to mention he already tried to sacrifice Sawalich earlier in the night going into 1, which is one of the best saves I've ever seen in a truck at Martinsville, by the way.
Yeah, it's just now there's a video up too about like all the times that Hocevar's had issues, and
in the last 10 or 12 races, that, by the way.
One of my Twitter friends, or I guess people I've met through Twitter, I don't know if he wants me to say it, big Landon Castle fan, if you know him, you know him. He's been on that Hocevar like wrecks people a lot for a long time.
See, and I used to be a huge fan of him, and now I'm getting to a point where I'm like, maybe this just isn't it, maybe
I still definitely like the guy as a guy. I when I was at the Chili Bowl, he was standing right in the Die Hard section where they're throwing marshmallows at each other willy-nilly all week long. So I like him for that. He's the tallest guy in the section, which is much funnier.
You are very easy.
It's like a crowd of people, and then Carson Hocevar's head is above all of them.
You are very easy to win over.
I'm just saying, I like the guy as a guy. We need some good PR for the people we bash on this podcast, because we have too many of them.
Yes.
The list is growing longer. We're going to have the whole truck series now.
We just have very strong opinions. That's all.
I mean, I'm not like in a part where if you were to come up to me, I'm not going to be like, but like, I think that he is starting to get a reputation that,
starting to.
Well, like it's
becoming more mainstream that, man, how clean
it's been pretty mainstream.
Yeah, well, like, okay, so let me rephrase how I'm saying that. Like, it's starting to be like a set in stone reputation now. It's not just like, oh, is he going to do that or is he not? It's to the point where it's like we see that and we're like, oh, yep, that's Ross Chastain.
I've got a good comparison. This is 2021 Kirk Cousins, week 2. No, week 3 after the loss to the 6-10 Buffalo Bills by 45.
Okay,
that's what it is. No, it's what? Come on.
You lose me. I don't.
You just spoke Minecraft Enchanting
Noah,
Table.
Can you save me here?
I kind of think I follow along with what you're trying to say here.
That's where the Carson Hocevar as a dirty driver scale is at right now. Is 2021 week 3 Kirk Cousins.
Who did they play that week?
It was either week 3 or 4, but they played a crappy team and lost by 30.
The Dallas Cowboys last year.
Everyone turns around and looks at you and goes, no, well, they always forget how to play football for an entire day. Like, everyone knows that. Yeah, I hate them. All
Let's
right.
go Vikings for
Yeah,
that one.
Well, the rest of my teams are kicking ass right now, so I'm good with that.
My team won the Super Bowl. I feel pretty good. I'll carry that one.
My team doesn't know what they want to do with their quarterback next year.
No, they know
so-
what they want to do. They just don't have anybody that wants to do it with them yet.
Josh, who's your team?
Green Bay.
Okay.
They have
Josh
the
Olmstead's
team.
left the
They
call.
have the team that they want to do it with. They just don't want to give up.
And Aaron Rodgers right now is the current present form of Carl Edwards.
Oh, I like Carl Edwards more. though.
Anyone know where he's at?
Carl,
but I-
he's like right up the road.
I heard he might run for governor in Missouri, just like Aaron Rodgers.
They've been talking about him running for governor in Missouri for like 100 years. Though.
I know.
Yeah.
It's the funniest.
Carl's just right up the road.
Do you live next to Carl Edwards, Damon? And I've been there and you haven't told me?
Well, he lives in the same county.
Why didn't we go say hi?
We both pay our taxes to the same
We
place.
could have just taken the laptop. All right.
That is fantastic.
Man.
No, he's got a
Saturday
point.
in the Xfinity race, Sammy Smith got second. Brett Moffitt had a top 10. Iowa definitely put on for the city there.
John Hunter Nemechek continued his hot streak.
Yeah. Okay.
You're suspended for the next 5 minutes.
There's much more potential there in the pun.
There is.
There's much more. The memorable part of the race, aside
You could
from
have said he was on fire.
Josh Sims did.
I was just really trying to warm up to it, you know.
besides the race being a good race, completely fine race, and exciting, ask the Cup Series about that one, I guess. John Hunter Nemechek's doing his burnout, same kind of burnout that Zane Smith did with the nose of the car up against the wall, and it generates enough heat that since they have mud flaps or rain flaps on the cars for that specific reason, those things catch on fire. And yeah, it's not a good look when the cars caught fire and no one's looking at John Hunter Nemechek and being like, yeah, you should get out of the car, not pop it in reverse, slowly reverse for 20 seconds, put it in drive, go forward for another 5 seconds. And then like, okay, we got a fire. Let's get out of the car. And it also, I know it's not, I know they didn't take that long, but it looks obnoxiously long for the damn fire extinguishers to get out there. And I don't know, like.
It doesn't help when he was running away from them.
That's where I couldn't figure out what he was doing. I'm like, are they telling him to go closer to the fire extinguisher guys? Or like, what is.
I think he was trying to just like blow the fire out by moving, like getting
Mhm.
wind.
Oh, that would make more sense. I
That's how,
suppose.
yeah.
It felt like the dude didn't even know his car was on fire and no one told him to get out.
The safety
didn't care.
penguins were waddling on over, and he's just trying to move away from them.
I think he knew it was on fire. I think he was just trying to move the air to get it not be on fire. But then he kept backing over the fire.
So
That smoke inhalation probably went crazy for a minute.
So my thing from that, aside from like just build mud flaps that don't light on fire, I feel like that's like,
It's Connor's most recent Google searches are what
mud flap
companies and mud flaps that won't catch fire.
no, time out. Let me get it. I
Man,
don't
Connor, you're a
think-
punching bag tonight.
Yeah, that's what is it a hard
Oh my
ask to
God.
ask for mud flaps that don't catch on fire?
I just
First
The amount
of
of
all,
people that I saw.
I'm a flagship for driver safety over here, and you guys are laughing at me. Which is
The
can't say
government's
that.
going to have a heyday with your
Yes.
Google search.
Oh no!
You can search this on Google.
Car.
I'm sticking up. I'm the only one here sticking up for driver safety. That's all I want to say. Number one.
How are the levers driver safety? That's just performance. Like
I didn't say that was drivers. I'm talking about the mud flaps catching on fire. What?
Okay,
why
but
are
we're
they
talking
catching on
about your
fire?
entire search history
I
here.
think that the
No.
mud flaps catching on fire is also a great excuse for us to never put media on the front stretch to do victory lane interviews ever again as well.
Yeah,
Take him to victory lane.
Yes.
I'm never. Yeah, I like the victory lane interviews much better. I think it's way cooler.
That's why it exists. It exists so that you go there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You
I
win.
agree.
Like,
At this point, they don't even ever like show it on the broadcast anymore.
no.
You just
'cause
get to see it on post race for the 10
No.
minutes that you have of
I
that.
had to watch the USFL instead of an hour of post race. I only got 40
Pretty,
minutes. today.
pretty
It sucked.
much.
Yeah, because they're so quick to get out of there anymore. Like, it's literally you don't get any like extra things. Like, as soon as they have their interview, then they go to commercial, and then they come back and they interview Chase Elliott, and then they are done.
We had-
Meanwhile,
we
for
had a little
like
bit more to do.
meanwhile for like IndyCar, they had like a party on the podium at Long Beach for like 2 hours.
on peak.
I-
Yeah.
No, I thought the post race and stuff today was lengthy enough. It was fine. I just wanted to bash on the USFL. Hope they actually pay their players. XFL too. I only know of one minor, like
They do.
non-NFL
It's
football league that
$10 a
actually pays
game,
their-
probably.
pays their players well. So, we'll move on. It's good. Was there anything else from the NASCAR weekend?
I think that pretty much covers it.
Awesome.
Sam Mayer flipped off Ryan Truex, and it's kind of
Oh
fun.
yeah, that was awesome.
That was fun.
Yeah. I had somebody that I know on Twitter say that basically, oh, the last time Sam Mayer got in a fight, he got his butt kicked, so he's not as tough as you think he is, or whatever. And I was like, the dude he fought didn't even take his helmet off. Like,
The dude he fought compared himself to Jesus. It's kind of a hard
Yeah,
win.
I know. I have a correction for you. That was me that tweeted that. And I said the last time we had an argument at Martinsville, someone compared himself to Jesus and didn't take his helmet off in a fight.
it wasn't you that had said that, by the way, but
Yeah, I
did
wasn't
see you
trashing on
tweet.
Sam Mayer. I wouldn't do that. That kid's good.
Uh,
Don't
Yeah,
ask no one else
Jesus.
about that.
No, no,
comment.
no, I got to hear this now because
You're
I
a
don't have
Jesus
it.
fan.
Can you
of
give
Ty
me can you
Gibbs?
give me this take in 1 minute?
I am no. Oh no, I'm not a Jesus Ty Gibbs fan. I just
Okay.
I
No,
think that
he's a Sam Mayer denier.
I just haven't been nearly as impressed with Sam Mayer at times. A lot of times.
Because
no,
why?
but he I mean, I'll say Mayer is average. He's not that great, but he's not horrible. And Noah hates Sam Mayer.
I just think that he's
Every
got a
time he
lot
wrecks,
of
he laughs at
development.
him.
That is not true. That is not true.
You said good riddance usually.
No,
Yeah,
I
I'm
can't
not
Well,
laugh.
no,
I would never
no.
do that to a driver.
If you know anything about the one car at Junior Motorsports, it's not very good. So
Oh, Damon, you're off the podcast.
There's a particular
5
Iowa
minutes
native, I would
suspension.
say, that has more wins in the one car than Sam Mayer, who's supposed to be a generational talent in that car. So
Wasn't that the car that Josh Berry got a win in?
Josh Berry isn't an Iowa native, but yeah, he did pretty good in
I'm
that.
I'm just stating that
I think Josh Berry won more in that one. Didn't he win
Then-
twice? in
No, they
that?
tied. They tied.
They
He got
did, okay.
close.
Let me
I
know
knew
when
he got
Josh Berry
close.
can win at Daytona. Okay. All right.
in a single file line for the final
hardest-
50
whole
laps
race.
It's the hardest track to win at on the Cup Series schedule. Just saying.
on the Cup Series schedule. Xfinity ran single file for the entire race.
I'm counting that one.
It was the worst Daytona race I think I've ever seen for Xfinity.
I didn't mention. No, you can't count that. We're not
I
doing
feel-
this bingo. All right.
we're talking
No.
about
I'm
him.
going to ask you this.
I
trivia
think we're
question.
subtweeting him, so it counts.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. What's your question? Fire
All
away.
right. So Noah, the thing marketed to me about Noah was that he's Rain Man and he can pull up numbers in his head, so with ease. I want to know who was on the poll for the 2007 ARCA race at Iowa Speedway. What were the podium drivers?
Oh dear Lord, I don't know anything.
He's
about
not going to
Arco.
know Arco, I'll
Yeah.
tell you that.
Oh, you can't. All right. Well,
It's
Michael
in
Annett was
his
on the poll,
wheelhouse,
so
but
this
it's
is the
not-
easiest one you missed. Frank Kimmel won it. Michael
Yeah.
McDowell finished second. Annette
Really?
finished third. Someone
Who's
named
McDowell driving for?
Yeah, now answer that one.
Seven,
Carter.
probably-
I took a
probably
screenshot and
MWR.
it says Z-Line Design. I think it would have been
That would be a
The
Gibbs
Joe
car
Gibbs
more
car.
than
Gibbs car,
likely.
yeah.
That's cool, actually.
That's when
Nice.
they had the Pizza Ranch sponsorship, and he was younger.
Oh, that was De Benedetto back in that day.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, you're a couple years too early for that.
So hold
one,
on,
but
Damon,
yeah.
you'll enjoy this. Fourth was some random name, Philip McGilton. Brian Clausen finished fifth.
We love Brian Clausen.
Bobby Gerhardt
Rest
was
in
in
peace.
sixth. Justin
Noah
Allgaier
has a Brian
finished seventh.
Clausen diecast.
Autographed,
And then
Of
Justin
what one?
Marks. Justin
Hold
Marks
on.
finished like eighth.
sitting right next to me. Actually, it is his 2007 Memorex car.
Oh, cool.
Well, now that I know you
Yes.
don't do ARCA, my bad.
No, you're good. No, 2007 ARCA, I would have probably been like, Frank Kimmel, Bobby Gerhardt, and that would have been it.
We got two
you
of
were
them.
Close, yeah.
Yeah.
Bobby Gerhardt won at Daytona like 100 million times. There we go.
I did
In a
tell you. I
row.
did tell you. No matter what question I ask you, it will be guaranteed that I know it.
That's fair.
It usually means it's an Iowa driver.
Those are the guys I've watched. Like,
There is one thing.
who wrecked Jeff Gordon in the 2006 Bristol Spring Race?
That would be Matt Kenseth. Everybody
that
should know
fucking
that.
Bitch.
Mhm.
Sorry,
Facts.
I hated him for like years after that. I was Matt Kenseth fan as a
Facts.
kid until that day.
Jeff got him back. It's okay.
I understand, but Jeff could have gotten him back 4 more times, and I'd still hate Matt Kenseth. He ruined my Sunday as an 8-year-old ambitious racing fan.
Yeah, I remember watching that. Kurt Busch won
Mhm.
back when Bristol was Bristol.
I do have something that we did forget from this past weekend with NASCAR.
for it.
Did you guys see the Twitter feud with Joe Graff and Alpha Prime?
A little bit of it.
Which Alpha Prime apologized for after.
That's so stupid. Dude, it's Twitter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
I thought that was very interesting. And the whole, like, the right away, they were just like, we just got Joe Graft. It's like, oh no.
Well, and then it was like Joe Graff, is out of the race or something, and so Alpha Prime goes scheduled tweet,
And
that's
yep,
really
they doubled
funny.
down on
Spicy.
it.
And then Joe Graff sent them the data that said that Ellis actually turned into them.
And then I watched the replay and I was like, the data shows nothing.
Yeah. So it was pretty inconclusive in the end, but yeah,
Sorry, I'm just flipping on the drag racing event that it just started. Damon, why is there 3 cars on the track instead of 4?
Are you in Top Fuel?
I don't know. I just turned it on.
Yeah. If it's Top Fuel, then they only had 15 cars on the property this weekend.
What the hell? This is the biggest race of the year. It's the 4 wide nationals.
Nope,
They're
because
in
they do
prime
it
time.
again. They do it again in 2 weeks. So it
They
ain't
put
the
them up. They
biggest
put
race
them
of
up
the year.
against like their TV window went up against like the worst NBA playoffs matchups. So they're in a favorable spot.
It's actually pretty entertaining right now. It's a
No
lot
one
of
cares,
back
no
and
one cares
forth.
about the Timberwolves, and Lou Dort probably just
Lou Dort's
Hey,
not even
hey,
on the Timberwolves.
Hey,
I know Lou
we
Dort's
care
on
about the
Timberwolves.
Timberwolves.
the
No,
Dorcher
we don't care
chamber.
about the Timberwolves.
I care about the Timberwolves.
You're a Vegas fan too. Like it's
And they're not even. That's not even the game that's on right now.
as the NBA season just started. Can we like stop
It's the Clippers and
overreacting to game
Suns.
results? It's just weird. The season just started. They have such a long preseason, and like now that the season's actually going, like
This is just becoming a recurring joke with you.
it's just crazy. All right, IndyCar. Kyle Kirkwood secures his first win in the NTT IndyCar Series down at Long Beach. Romain Grosjean finished second.
Mr. F1.
Yeah, well, okay. I want to talk about Kyle Kirkwood first. I'll get to that. He had such a pedigree coming up in like the minor leagues of IndyCar. I kind of feel like a lot of IndyCar fans really want him to succeed because that means the minor leagues are building towards something a little bit, and it means they mean something. It doesn't mean, hey, here's the one solid guy out of this field of 14 cars, and that's why he won 15 times out of 20 or whatever. But he had miraculous records in the lower series. He's finally in a good IndyCar ride, and 3 races in, he's won a race. So I'm really impressed with Kyle Kirkwood. I think he can do some damage this season, and a lot of other stuff happened in the race. I don't think you guys have anything to say about Kirkwood.
It is quite impressive to have your best career finish be 10th and then you win.
He's driving for AJ Foyt. Like,
He's with actual like top tier equipment now,
Yeah.
so he should
Was
start
Wasn't
rattling
it
off.
last podcast where I basically said that McLaren was a higher tier team than Andretti, and Andretti kind of just mopped everyone today?
I think you said that, and I think I forgot to respond or didn't even didn't register with me.
I feel like Andretti does good in clusters though. Like they will show up to a race and every single one of their cars will be strong, and then they'll show up to another race and every single one of their cars is off.
They do, and then it doesn't help that Colton Herta was trying to mileage out an engine for the better half of a season last year, and so he can't none of his engines were good. I don't know what it's a really complicated engine rule that Marshall Pruitt took me through, and I understood it when I heard it, and now I've forgotten the details specifically. That didn't help them. They also had Alexander Rossi driving for him, the driver. I don't know. I don't know at this point. Do you call it the worst luck or the worst talent? Because Rossi was running 6th today and wrecked on the last lap. So at this point, I don't really know what to say. I don't think anything in his car broke. I think he just made a mistake, and I don't know if I'm still gonna call it luck.
He lost my fantasy today doing that. I lost by 3 points because of that.
Man, he's just a perennial try too hard kind of driver. I feel like he just is always pressing at his limit, and he always finds a way to exceed his limit.
You have to figure out where the line is there and where to turn it down a little bit.
Yeah.
That's part of being a good driver, and that is not good for you, buddy. You just 20 points in IndyCar championship, one that doesn't have double points for the Indy 500. That's not good. Josh is almost speechless today. You guys are doing the dead air thing way too much.
It was not a good IndyCar day for me, and from a standpoint of me.
I thought the race was
The race was great, but as
it's had since 2009.
No, the race was great. Just the end results for some people I prefer over others did not pan out to what I.
Nobody ended up in the fountain. It was a success in the end.
Yeah, Josh is just saying that he's not an Andretti fan.
I wouldn't say that. I do like Mr. F1. I like Kyle Kirkwood.
Someone did end up in the tires.
You said two different people there, but what? What do you say?
Said someone did end up in the tires.
Yeah, quite a few people. What did you guys think of that paddle move that sent Dixon up?
I thought it was a bit much. I mean, it wasn't the most egregious thing we've ever seen. We've seen worse, and I understand making that move, and it just he didn't leave Dixon with much for options, and I think that's the problem I have with it. Me and Josh talked about this a little bit beforehand because Josh pointed out on his Twitter, the IndyCar and NBC posted a quote from Pato about making stupid moves or whatever and put that picture, and Pato basically responded and said this move wasn't stupid. And I don't know what you expect Dixon to do at that point, because he didn't have many options to avoid that, I guess.
I hope this doesn't show up on our YouTube. I just put the NHRA thing in a little box.
So it's NASCAR and NBC quoted Pato and said, "I don't have to be making those stupid mistakes." And then it says Pato reflects on his 17th place run that saw run-ins with Scott Dixon and Kyle Kirkwood. And then he responded, because the video is the incident with Dixon. And he says, well, that one wasn't stupid. The other one was.
I haven't actually gotten to see it, so let me pull it
You'll
up
look
here.
at that now. I'll do my Mr. F1 take here. I didn't think we should herald someone for finishing second with 150 seconds of push to pass.
That's a ridiculous amount of time to have.
Yeah. You just didn't press the button, man. You had boost.
They said he didn't have the fuel to do it.
Yeah, That's wwhy.
Okay, all right. No, that makes a little bit more sense. I knew I would be missing something, and I was watching 2 races at the same time. I will give him that.
We
Then.
were too.
It does. It just does look a little. Gosh, you got to understand what volume priority gets in my NASCAR fan household. Okay.
You want to know what I was doing
my
today?
dad's place.
Literally, I had 2 TVs set up next to each other, and then I had 2 remotes. And so, like, if one go to commercial, that one muted, the other one unmuted, vice versa, that back and forth.
He wasn't very good at his job because he fell asleep a couple times.
Yeah, it happened, but
You're yelling at me for not paying enough attention. You fell asleep during a race.
I still know what was going on.
It's fine.
Yeah, that was
So-
that was a pretty egregious dive bomb. Cool, fun stat for you guys relating to Scott Dixon. So this is his 371st race. Outside of 2014 and 2017 at the Indy 500, this was the worst finish of his entire career.
Jeez, that is insane.
That's insane. That's
Do you know why? It's because IndyCar is so healthy right now at 27 cars every week. That's nuts. 27? F1
Yeah.
doesn't even want 20.
I feel like everybody should, within reason, have as many cars as show up.
Yeah,
Like,
the
obviously, you
charter
gotta
system.
cap
I
it
think we've
somewhere.
talked. I will just say I agree because I've said my take on that in how car count doesn't matter, but I would rather a bigger car count, right? Like for any series. Although the quality trumps the car count, but you obviously would want more cars. You want more open seats. Yeah.
More quality cars, the better. That's why I feel like the charter system is
Counterproductive.
counterproductive. Yeah, that's a great word for that. I was trying to think of one.
NASCAR wants to get rid of it. The teams obviously just want their investment paid off.
Yeah.
So in turn,
Ooh.
don't want to get rid of it now. But yeah.
Big news for you, Connor.
Is this breaking?
Alexander Rossi suspension failure with 1 to go.
Oh, good.
Ooh.
Yay. He's back,
Big
guys. Everybody clap. Alex is back.
big news.
Let's go. No, I do. Okay. All right. I can now pedal back. I will now walk back the entire take because that definitely does not count.
He's still very aggressive and pushes too hard sometimes.
Also,
but
power ranking like drives I've seen at Indianapolis and guys I've seen control a car better than everyone else in the damn facility. I'd put Alex at 1. Can I selfishly put Dan Weldon at 1 over Alex? Is that okay?
Caleb, what do you think?
Since he's no longer with us, I think that's the only honorable thing to do. He's 1A, Alex is 1B, and Alex Palou is 1C. He's below, but still. Palou when he was
1, 2, and 3.
Palou 2 years ago when he was fighting Castro Neves, that impressed me with Alex Palou. And he impressed me first the year before that, and I picked him to win that race, and that was why.
Rossi was driving like a madman. Was it a couple years ago?
The 2016 Indy 500 was the one where it was like, who's this kid in the Napa car? And it's like Napa's got their guy here, and then Chase Elliott came along.
Yeah, that 2016 500.
And Brad Sweet came along, and Ron Capps came along, and Derek Kraus. I can't do that one with a straight face. Sorry, guys.
And now it's Christian Eckes.
Who has more wins in that car than Derek Kraus did?
But Kraus has been really good in it. The Xfinity car, 2 top 10s in 2 races. They should definitely let him run some more, even if they don't have sponsors. If they don't got somebody lined up, I put Kraus in it.
I'm guessing he's gonna run that car when they have the Dash for Cash races and the end of the year.
And screw Voyager.
Yes.
Facts.
There, I see. What you guys have done with this bingo game is now I can't say what I was actually going to say, and I have to put it in codes like that. Like the diehards will understand why I'm saying it, but I can't actually say what I want to say. So,
I mean, you can say what you want to say.
I'm not going to
That's the
say
point
it.
of the bingo.
I'm going
I don't think it's even on the bingo card.
No,
I'm
that
going
one's
to
not on
tease you
it.
guys.
Yeah, that one's not on it, Connor. So you're
you
good.
guys are setting me up. No, I don't. believe
It's not on it. I made the card and it's not on it.
The only
I
other,
won't
only
show
other
you the
things-
card, but
Yeah,
it's not on it.
the only other stuff I had from IndyCar was I thought Rahal Letterman Lanigan was top 15 instead of top 22 this week. So
They didn't talk about Graham Rahal once.
They didn't, or I didn't.
They didn't.
They should.
I think one guard running 17th got more TV time than Graham Rahal did.
Hey, let Graham race as much as he wants. I want him in the IndyCar front office right now.
I will ask
Oh.
you guys this: what were your thoughts on the track changes made without telling the teams about it?
Well, that's stupid.
Yeah, I
It
was
was
confused on
bad.
that. Like the pictures next to each other, I couldn't even tell anything changed. It's just if you cut that corner, but I also like, why change that? I don't get that. Stupid. I think their message was at least heard.
Callum Ilott was kind of the highlight of the weekend, it seems like. Because he also had some incident happen during the race as well that, needless to say, he, quote unquote, according to his Twitter, received death threats after the
Damn.
Race.
Wow,
Why?
that's
So
pretty
why did he
bad.
receive death threats?
So his teammate on strategy had the lead because it was like him and then like Elio was up there and then it was Kirkwood and all of the guys afterwards. They like stayed out on strategy, and Ilott was off strategy and pitted like way out of sequence. Like he was like dead last or something. He pitted and he came out on track in front of his teammate who was leading the race, and apparently they got together. And yeah, so needless to say, a lot of the 78 Cars fans were not too happy with that.
So what's that guy's name? Canapino?
Yes.
And
There's a
where's he
lot
from?
of fans for him.
That's what I was
There-
gonna say.
Well, keep in mind he's probably the only like Argentinian IndyCar driver ever.
Well, the
Ilott's
team
gonna
have
from
an entire
Argentina, they have
country fight
a
him.
heavy contingent of Argentinian fans, but those fans should understand what their team is and how big Callum Ilott not leaving for a bigger team is for that team.
Yeah. And it
They're
was
gonna
kind of
make
a
me hate them
key.
before we even get to Argentina having an IndyCar race.
It was kind of a big deal for Ilott to stay on the lead lap. So that's why I think he was defending so hard. And he was on cold tires. But yeah, apparently he like squeezed him in the wall in like turn 5 or 6.
So
And that's what caused that stack up, which led to the award incident.
Well,
that's
from our
incident number 2 on defending against the leader with cold tires this year too.
friend of the podcast, Nick Yeoman, did state on his Twitter this weekend that leaving Canapino out there was silly. Quite silly is the word. So I'm going to side with Nick. It was quite silly to leave the much worse driver out there.
And now Connor has the entire country of Argentina after him.
Bang, bang. That's how we do it.
One country at
Seriously,
a
though,
time.
Death threats, really?
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
Come on, man.
Yeah, and
I
Ilott said
understand it
he's-
happens to a lot of drivers on the high profile. I get it. It's just, I hate that. You know,
Nobody is more hyperbolic or inflammatory than me at times, but death threats are a lot.
I won't say that collegiate basketball refs deserve death threats, but like more than what Callum Ilott did today, yeah.
Yep, so I just found it. Generally impressed by the amount of death threats and abuse I've received. Definitely a new record by far. I really appreciate the effort to help me learn all these new Spanish words. I'm going to the beach now. Hasta luego.
Good tweet. Solid tweet.
Oh man.
The only other thing I had was I was really surprised to see Joseph Newgarden fall off as hard as he did. He fell behind Marcus Armstrong, the rookie, late in the race. I think he finished 9th or 10th. But he was
Ninth.
the leader. Like, I think they must have taken some adjustments that he wanted to make, and maybe they were the wrong ones, or vice versa that his team called for. But yeah,
Yeah,
really- car
I
really
missed
fell
the
off.
interview for that. Because I'm usually with
Caleb, you were
Newgarden in
paying
interviews,
attention?
he's
What'd
very.
he say?
we missed that one because then we switched
Oh,
back over to NASCAR.
Got it.
so-
All right.
Yep.
I
Yeah,
think
so
they were talking to him when Kyle Larson was burning down the entire surface at Martinsville, which was badass.
That was badass.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like with the mud flap thing, like if you're like, well, take away the rain package and the mud flaps because you want to see burnouts. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
the amount of people I saw actually genuinely campaigning for people to stop doing burnouts because of the damage to the cars and the risk for fire, blah blah blah, was way too much for me.
Yeah, you know how they're talking about like taking away flyovers from some places. Just
People hate fun.
I forget what it was or what the context of it was. But I will be the old guy that do not take my fucking burnouts away.
Yeah.
When Dominic Selzy wins, so Dominic Selzy's a sprint car racer. He's from California. His brother's Gio Selzy. He's a World of Outlaws full-time guy. When Dominic wins a sprint car race, he does 360 donuts, like a NASCAR burning out, and it's the coolest fucking shit. Like, you just a great burnout, like any sort of burnout, like is the most fun thing to watch for me.
Connor, did you see the thing about Dusty Zomer's hauler?
Dusty Zomer?
Yeah.
Yeah, the dirt world has been hit really hard with hauler fires this year. I know Hunter Schoenberg got hit too. Wait, is the Zomer one new?
Tipped over on the side of the road, it looks like.
That's got to be new. Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
It was 2 hours ago.
Shit. All right. Well, there's your breaking news for this episode. Okay. Yeah, the dirt world has been hit really hard. I encourage you guys, when you see something like this, especially when they're good people like Hunter Schoenberg and Dusty Zomer, he's been racing since I was a kid. Go reach out and find a way to buy their shirts. Google their names, look up their store. Go buy a couple shirts from them. We're selling shirts too. I would feel like a real dickhead promoting them right now. So don't buy our shirts. Go buy Hunter's and Dusty's and help them out a little bit, whatever you can give. So shit like that sucks. I hate seeing it. Hopefully we'll have better luck going forward, because that's about the only thing you can hope with that. You guys want to talk dirt? Well, you three don't. Damon probably does, though.
Let's get dirty.
Damon, Donnie Schatz, your boy. All of Damon's favorite racers, really bad stuff. Donnie had a great race going at high limit. He had great performance from Donnie over there. Flipped at Peevely on Friday night. His first DNF in 2 seasons since 2021. His first DNF since 2021.
You don't see Donnie Schatz put one on his lid too often.
No, you do not. I said, holy shit, at Dingus, and then I looked to my right, and Scott Boguski was standing there. So, yeah, it's wild to see Donnie have even a wrecked race car, but let alone, flip. It was weird, to say the least, but had a good weekend going. Had, the high limits deal was good to him, and then was at Peevely and was doing his normal silent treatment type stuff, and then all of a sudden he's in turn 2 and upside down. So it was wild. But I know one thing about it, Peevely, this track was kind of interesting to watch the race. Like, it didn't necessarily feel like there was that multi-groove haul ass kind of mentality that you see from a Peevely track. I don't know if that's how you interpreted the race, but that's kind of how I watched it on Friday. I knew it was different from what it normally is. You look at the qualifying results, you'll see that. You had guys, Zach Hampton ran a really fast lap. Can you help me out, Damon, with who else was in the top 10 there?
Garrett Williamson was up there. And he made the dash, like you said, Zach Hampton. There's somebody else.
I think Tim Estenson was in the top.
Estenson was another one. Estenson wrecked with Donnie. But yes, Estenson was another one that qualified up in the top.
You're a NASCAR fan trying to remember popular dirt names. Those were not the 3 to go off of. But very good qualifying performances out of them. And Williamson made the dash, yeah?
Yeah, he made the dash. Had a good run. He also pays his taxes in the same county that I do.
Do you have a list? Like, is this like? Did you get bored and get on there and find the list of the people that pay their taxes in what county?
No. I just know based on the towns that they live in, Connor.
What's Gravois Mills do?
It's crazy that he knows common geography.
Wild.
Crazy
wild. When the zip codes all look the same, it's crazy, but who would have thought?
All right. No,
No, to go off of it though, Peevely it really looked weird. Like it didn't look like Sheldon struggled, which Sheldon never struggles at Peevely, and he struggled. I think he still finished in the top 10 or something like that, but he struggled, and really it was kind of like Brad Sweet just dominated the whole show. Like there was no challenge for the front spot throughout the entire night, which is what was odd to see for a Peevely track.
yeah, Macedo got up there when the lap traffic was getting to him, but there'd be a caution that comes out, or Brad would get around a guy. Brad looked sporty. Brad's catching on a little bit here. That's probably a little scary for everyone else.
He's already got more wins at this point than he did at this point last year. So
yeah, and I like 5 wins last year. Like that's the number one thing Brad wanted to change about this season was way more wins than we got last year. So he's on his way. We'll see how they do. They got Knoxville coming up. I'm so hyped for that. It sucks that the local guys that showed up this weekend could not race. They got a night of practice, so that ended up being at least a little big, at least a little impactful for a practice night, all things considered. Currently in the point standings, Carson Macedo leads it at 18-26. Brad Sweet is 12 points back. David Gravel's 20 points back, and Logan Schuchart is 56 points back.
Bingo!
What the hell? Is that Logan Schuchart mentioned?
Yes.
That isn't even a popular thing. I've just been trying to drum up a Damon versus Logan Schuchart rivalry for months on end, and Damon couldn't make it to the interview.
Mine that I was needing was I had the World of Outlaw points on there.
Oh, see, that's a tough. Well, yeah, that's a tough
It's
one.
close. There were a couple that we were just getting edged on. Like he would like.
Well, we talked about the
mentioned half of
points.
it.
We talked about the points, but I didn't get the ridiculous race idea. That's what cost me.
I mean, we talked about it at the beginning. It was a controversial one, but I mean that's I guess what mine was. It was controversial, but like he had the monster. He had the Monster Jam take that was pretty ridiculous. So
yeah, that's fair.
I had to read an ad, dude. You know how like I'm writing these myself, and I'm not the most clever guy out there.
I don't know. I think they're pretty good. Shout out Carl Auto Group.
Thank you. I appreciate you, Noah. And yeah, shout out to Carl Auto Group. Noah's my favorite guy on this podcast.
Just to clear up what he said though earlier is not crushable cars. They are great cars.
He wants to
Every
use.
car is crushable if you put a monster truck next to it.
That's pretty fair. He got
Well,
you.
not
There.
if you put it next to it.
Carl Auto cars are
Just don't put it-
indestructible. Everybody.
Yeah, Carl's cars are you don't put them next to monster trucks. You can put anything else, but they're just so neat and clean. You won't ever want to put one next to a monster truck.
Carl's cars are not going to get crushed when you put it next to it. You have to put it under the monster truck.
There you
I
go.
think the monster truck is going.
We're just
You
You said next to it. You
There's
said
an entire
next to
meme about Gravedigger saving us by crushing over the Supreme Court. What car couldn't Gravedigger crush?
Seriously though, support the people that support racing. Go get a car from Carl Auto Group.
Yeah, absolutely do that.
We're just going there.
Yeah, this is great.
Tell them we sent you.
Anyway, sorry we got off track that I lost bingo tonight.
So real quick, all right, real quick, California Sprint Car Racing, the NARC 410 Series. Corey Day took the prelim at the Dennis Roth Classic. Justin Cox, intern, took it the night after. Dominic Scelzi wrecked. So that sucks. He's going to be on the show at some point. He just had another kid because he didn't want to be on the podcast so badly that he has delayed from one kid excuse to being a second kid excuse. So congrats to Dominic on that. Hated to see him wreck in that A main, but Justin Cox was, and this is his quote. He said, "I ripped the shit out of it at Tulare." The cushion goes all the way up to the wall. So there was times where he was bouncing the right rear off the wall and gaining speed. I just thought that was really cool. He's in a new ride this season, I guess. I hadn't heard of him before now, and I want to make it a point to watch California Sprint Car Racing because of the talent that comes out of Cali. And he looked really good on Saturday, beat Corey Day. He was beating Dominic Scelzi before that. Shane Golubic ended up making a late charge. Justin Sanders was up there too. So good field, good win for Justin Cox. And I know you get like 30 pounds of beef when you win that race on top of the 18 grand paycheck. So good for him. I hope he's enjoying that and having a nice dinner tonight. All-Star Circuit of Champions, great weekend for them at Attica Raceway Park. Brent Marks won from 20th on Saturday night. And then on Friday, a guy named Craig Mentz. I guess he got his first ASCOC win like 11 years ago. And he beat Zeb Wise at the buzzer by 0.007 seconds on Friday night. Did you guys see that replay? Or does anyone in here know anything about Craig Mentz?
It was wild.
Yeah, I had never heard of the guy, not a single time.
I'll have to see that, but all the zeros in front of that 7 tell me it was pretty cool.
It was a wild race.
It looks really dusty. That's like Ohio dirt track racing is. The joke is that water trucks aren't used in Ohio. I haven't read Chet's. One of the flow guys did a big thing on why it looks like that, and I haven't read it yet, but the headline of it led me to believe that there's a reason why it always looks so dusty, and it's not just a constant issue. But I would like to see more of the cars, or see the cars more clearly. But man, Craig Mentz, hell of a show to kick off the season. He's 10 points out of the lead for the ASCOC points, tied with Tyler Courtney right now. Zeb Wise and Brent Marks tied for the lead. Cap Henry and Parker Price Miller tied for 5th, 16 points out. So good race after 2 races.
I was going to say, isn't that just their second race?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's never too early to talk points. They all count the same.
All right.
It isn't. What?
Nothing.
The Cubs started the year 7-5. That's a bowl game. That's bowl eligible. That counts the same in the last 12 than it does the first 12.
It's unfortunate that they're still going to miss out by 10 games.
I was gonna say, talk to me when we're 130 games in and see where you're
waiting
at.
for them to drop off, but we're over 500 right now, and our next 3 games are against a team that's 3-13. So
It's like when you go to Fontana, second race of the year, and it says JJ Yaley's 15th in points, and saying JJ Yaley's in the playoffs right now.
Travis Pastrana is 36th in the NASCAR Cup Series point standings today. Just want everyone to know that.
Too bad we already got bingo.
We are 17.
Shit.
We are 17 broken tibias from seeing Travis Pastrana come back.
Just 17?
Only 17. That's a small amount. We can get there.
We're going to
There's
get
got to be
there.
16 filling
Sacrifices.
drivers.
We're going to get there with
Yeah.
Chase Elliott's snowboard skills. So
There's
we'll get there.
There's 80 tibias in the field every week. We only have to break 17 of them.
I'm saying there's 16 fill-in guys you're going to call before Travis Pastrana, but if you're not calling him 17th, I don't like you.
I want to know who 16 are that you're
That's what I
calling
was
in.
gonna say. I want to know.
That's a whole other podcast. That's
Donnie
Yeah.
Schatz would be on
Yeah,
that
we don't have
list.
time. We don't have time for that tonight.
Brett
Hey, how about
Hoffman
that
would be-
race at Davenport?
It's a good one.
Yeah, see? Great show for the late models there.
Yeah, they had a big field for a MLRA race. Which Simpson won? One of the Simpsons?
It was Chad.
Good win for him. They're Iowa guys, both Hawkeye fans and Iowa natives. Love both those guys. If you ever want to go drink Busch Light with a guy after a race, hit up either of those two.
Chad and Chris Simpson both put on a good show. They finished 1-2, which was cool. And they had to outduel some guys like Brandon Shepard probably was going to win that race. And then just utter disaster for him. And then Ryan Gustin was leading late and then completely missed the corner and went over the edge. There was somebody else that was a big name that was leading late, and I can't remember who it was, and they ended up not getting the job.
Hilsebeck?
No, it wasn't Hilsebeck. Hilsebeck's
I
more
was
of a
playing
local
hockey,
guy.
so I don't have the best memory of it. But
Yeah, he's more of a local guy anyway. I don't remember who it was. But it was a good show. Davenport always shows out for a late model race.
does that quarter mile just seems to always deliver. That's one of the first late model races I ever watched in my life live. was at Davenport, and I was in the infield, and the cars coming out of turn 4, there's nothing like it with how small that place is and how powerful those things feel. I'd love to see an Outlaws race there, like a sprint car race.
Yeah, be interesting to see. I like the late models there, man. It's tough to beat.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We talked about Chase Sexton. He wore his rider suit this week, or his uniform. I think they call them kits. Honestly, I have no clue. But he designed it to look like Chase Elliott's earlier in the year. He did a Michael Jordan Bulls look, like a Chicago Bulls kind of jersey look. So that, since he did the Chase Elliott one, I'm fully on the Chase Sexton bandwagon. There's some rumors that he might join Red Bull KTM.
You weren't on the bandwagon before?
No, because all I knew of him was that he sucked. He would lead the race and then suck. I don't think you guys listen to my takes. Once I say the word dirt, you guys tune me out, aside from Dame.
I feel like you've been on this Chase Sexton thing for a while, though.
I like Chase Sexton, and his name has sex in it. So, like,
there it is.
How much higher?
There it is. There it is.
Josh was deep sea fishing for a whole minute trying to get there.
I said his name already.
I'm trying to prove my
to
point that he's bandwagon Chase Sexton.
Love me some Chase Sexton. I heard him and Cooper Webb don't like each other, so if KTM ends up signing him, then
I don't think anyone likes Cooper Webb.
I
feel like Cooper Webb gets in a lot of stuff.
I like Cooper Webb
Why?
because he races for KTM and wins championships, like Ryan Dungey did.
Bad take.
That's literally it. That's why I ended up being a J.R. Hildebrand fan after Dan Weldon drove the car that he was in after.
I do not like Cooper Webb.
Josh, we'll argue after this. And then only other thing I had on the rundown was I had NHRA - bunch of upsets. I know there's rumors that it was a crazy day today. Now, the broadcast has just started an hour ago. I'm watching some pro stock cars right now. I've made the screen so small that it's challenging to understand what's going on, but I'm doing my best here.
That new guy, Tony Stewart, won in top alcohol.
How about that?
I did.
Yeah.
So Tony Stewart winning the Xfinity Series equivalent drag racing today. Where is he? Is there a points championship he's going after?
Yeah, he's going after national points.
What
Yep.
does he have to do? Is he in the playoffs?
Go around. No, there is no playoffs. It's total point standings like it should be.
How boring.
Hey,
How are they going to test who's peaking at the right time if all the races count the same?
well, Connor,
Are we talking about points after 2 races?
you are.
Oh, you started. I just asked a question.
I'm answering it. I am answering it. No, he's running for national points. So he can run as many national races as he'd like to.
Okay. All right. No. How many, like, what is it? Your best 8 finishes? What is it?
It's, I don't
Damon
remember
rolled
what
his
it
eyes
is.
because he doesn't know the specific format.
I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. I do know there is a certain number that you can run as many, and they take like your top whatever, essentially.
We'll research it for the next episode.
Because it goes with that, and then they have a separate like regional points as well. But I don't think he is tied to a region.
Gotcha. So who won the races today? I know Ron Capps got eliminated. How my boy Antron Brown do?
Your boy Antron Brown won today. If you would read the last tweets that I put out, he did win today.
You tag the account that you have the password. You can retweet those.
Yeah, I can, but I wanted you to see it.
It's so I would. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was eating dinner with my grandparents.
Yep,
My grandma turned 94. I'm sorry that I was.
It's all your
a
fault.
little bit more.
Yep.
My bad, Damon.
Anyway,
It's not every day your best friend wins an NHRA drag racing event. So
yeah, because
props to
you
him.
and Antron are dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you were best friends, you would have known that he won today.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Well,
He would have texted you.
No,
If you guys were best friends, he'd be on the podcast right
here's
now.
the deal. Antron doesn't text me.
He's
until
never
after
been on the podcast, for that
after the
matter.
broadcast airs because he doesn't want to spoil what's going on. What
that's
kind of a man
unfortunate.
would Antron be if he's spoiling the results to his fans before they even happen? Like,
You know how to fix that?
yeah, get a sensible TV deal to where everything leads up to the
Just-
finals and the finals are live.
Purchase NHRA.TV. That's how you fix that.
Damon, always race day is going to purchase Monster Jam before we purchase NHRA TV.
Well, then I don't want to hear you complain that you have to watch the
Oh,
recorded.
you're talking
show
about
on
me
the clock.
subscribing to NHRA TV.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about as a business buying NHRA TV.
No, that doesn't make any financial sense at all.
Well, I think we make some money on it.
I doubt it. No,
Losers like you watching stuff in real time when I'm sitting here on the tape delay.
Yeah, well, anyway, it was a double up for Tony Stewart as well. Matt Hagan won Funny Car, and Tony basically put the pressure on Hagan, saying that he had to win since Tony won. So that was pretty cool. And then Dallas Glenn doubled up in Pro Stock. He won back-to-back weeks in Pro Stock. So
What's the situation look like for Antron? Is he leading the points?
no, I do not believe he is leading points. I still
See-
think he is top 3, though.
This goes back to my IndyCar take. The 4-wide Nationals, as the biggest race of the year, should always.
It's not the biggest race of the year.
Well, it's the only one where they race 4 people.
It is not the only one. They do it again next week.
Awesome. Double points in both.
No,
It is a pretty cool concept. I'll give it that.
it's a cool concept.
Throw Indianapolis, they're double points too. And anytime they go to
They
Panama-
already do points and a half in Indianapolis.
Yeah, when they go to Panama, I want them double pointsing there too.
They'll never go there.
I think Damon got what I was doing finally when I mispronounced Pomona. I know what I'm doing, guys.
Yep.
Someone listening is like, he just called it Panama. What the hell?
To tell you or to answer your Antron in the points question,
I'll send this to Drag Race Central and I'll tell them to listen to the last 10 minutes. Damon just rolled his eyes. Now I can't send it to him.
You can't.
I don't know if it's a kid that runs an account or an older dude, but he's very passionate about drag racing. I don't have.
You know, Connor is very negative about everything. So take this account and double it by like 10,000.
I was just gonna compliment him, but all right, now I can't even send this to him. Assuming it's a guy, maybe I shouldn't even.
It's a great account. Like,
Yeah.
they are passionate.
No,
No
the
doubt
only
about
thing
it.
is just, I promise you, like, not this many people are saying drag racing is dying. You probably see it way more than we do.
There's a lot of people that say it.
Yeah, I understand. You're part of why it's not dying at all. You don't bring that same issue up every week.
Well, I think a lot of it's because they get told that it is dying every
That's
week.
true. Someone's probably screaming into their car radio too, telling me not to bring up how F1 blows every week too. But sorry.
Yeah, there's that. No, their account is good. They're very passionate. They love the sport, similar to what we do.
You understand I can't send this to him now because you've just trashed him.
That's fine. I don't want you to. The difference is they are very negative, even though they want to grow the sport. They are very negative, and that's what bothers me.
Hey, Drag Racing Central, if you're listening, I'd love to have a conversation with you. Love you. Love what you do. I'll be the good cop. It's fine.
I've been the
For
good guy
once.
for too many years.
Yeah, this is the one time
Logan
it's roles
Schuchart
reversed.
built a rivalry over 8 months, and we had the main event, and Damon was in the medical tent.
Hey, sometimes you got to call in the backup.
I'm not your backup.
Well,
Don't get it
Which-
twisted.
yeah, you are.
No, you're the Canapio. I can't even say.
And it's over. New topic.
Anyway,
You
it
guys-
was
can't go-
it
go
was
to
cool
bed.
for Tony. It was cool for Tony to win there because after they did interview him and afterwards, he said that he has now won at every single racetrack on the Vegas Motor Speedway property. So he's won at the Bull Ring, he's won at
I
the
was gonna
dirt
ask
track,
you, when did he win at
the
dirt
Speedway.
track?
I think it was an all-star race. I think he
No
won.
one else in.
When he won at the dirt track,
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
get on thethirdturn.com and you go wild with your stats and finding stuff on there, buddy.
I'm pretty sure it was either an all-star race. I think it was an all-star race that he won there.
All right, this is Ron Capps is up. I was told there's rumors that he doesn't win. And I want to.
There's rumors that he doesn't make it down the track.
Who didn't make it down? Oh no. Oh, Ron Capps isn't even at the finish line. What's going on? Damn it.
That.
Well, that sucks.
Connor, for your absolute thrill of your Lakers, Russell Westbrook is currently 3 for 19 on field goals.
It's the Russell Westbrook that hasn't worn the Eminem NASCAR pit crew member jacket in a few years. Turns out when you stop,
That is true.
all your magic goes away.
That is iconic.
Maybe the guy that made his teammates hand rebounds to him so he set a triple-double record. Maybe he ends up not being that good at basketball. Shocking. I know.
But anywho,
Where did Damon just disappear? Maybe he turned. It says he's here. I think Damon might have left.
Damon just passed away on live podcast.
Oh,
Something
no.
must have happened in the drag racing world. I've never known Damon to just get off of here. He's probably recruiting. Anyways, you guys have any other things from this weekend or things you're looking forward to this week?
Talladega, always. I love Talladega. I think that'll be fun.
The World of Outlaws
That's all-
Late
that's
Models are
Yeah.
actually across the street from Talladega this week at the Talladega Short Track. I'm excited for that. I'd be down there covering it. It had the World of Outlaws now been in Knoxville. My dad and I always talked about how that should be an event that's going on. I hope they knock it out of the park. I hope it's cool. Keep it on the schedule, please. You took Bristol Dirt away from us, so at least keep that, because I always think it's sweet. If there's a dirt track near the Cup Series track, I want the World of Outlaws racing there.
Absolutely.
Wednesday, Thursday night, whatever you got to do, go open some eyes to new fans. And some people are going to say, well, why should we cater to NASCAR fans, this or that? I would say run a race in Indiana the weekend before the Indianapolis 500 or something like that too. Like I would do it with everything. So, but yeah, Talladega is sweet. I'm pumped. I think Chase Elliott's going to win. I think I might just pick him until he wins. Like,
That is
Larson was
if
an
Chase
obvious
races
pick.
the whole race, which I see no reason why he wouldn't. But
Yeah, Larson should have been an obvious pick today. I'm stupid.
I took against him in a head-to-head, so I guess boo on me.
Picked against him. Wait, who was the other guy?
Christopher Bell.
Yeah.
He won
okay,
in the
all
fall.
right, yeah. I can see the thinking, and Martinsville's never been his track.
Bell's been super strong on the short tracks all this year, last year as well. So it makes sense. I get you.
The odds were very tempting. That's why I did it.
And
I saw at one point, speaking of odds, Stenhouse had plus 20,000 to win at Martinsville. He got a PA today. Good for him. That team's
20,000 or
Todd,
10,000?
Todd Gillen also had plus 20,000.
yeah. Gilland also ran great too.
20,000
Yeah,
for the Daytona 500 winner 8 weeks later.
yeah.
Mhm.
At Martinsville,
That is nuts.
his odds will be significantly better next week. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and I forgot to say I'm picking him next week. I'm sorry for tease the Chase Elliott thing. Throw it out the window.
Blaney's gonna turn
Stenhouse
it
is winning
around.
next week. Him. And
Blaney's gonna
Nick
turn the field around, coming to the start finish line if it's up front. As a Blaney guy,
I love
and
Blaney.
as he
I think
should, because holy shit, we have terrible luck all year.
Ryan Blaney's just Alexander Rossi.
Ryan Blaney's just Casey Kane.
No. He's Alexander Rossi.
No, Ryan Blaney's not on the greatest 75.
Ryan Blaney's never raced a single World of Outlaws event, and you're comparing him to Casey Kane, who
Oh my God.
has 5 owners championships in the series. Noah.
You got me there. You got me there.
I think we're waiting for Damon to come back. I don't.
He said technical difficulties.
Yeah, I don't know
so
what that means. I think his laptop must have just caught on fire.
His house spontaneously combusted.
His laptop has mud flaps. That's the problem.
Get rid of those. Give me the burnouts all day long.
Dude, I honestly like them catching on fire is kind of cool if they don't like get hurt, obviously. But I thought it was on purpose at first because Martinsville started their light show the second that Nemechek's mud flaps ignited, and so it was like perfectly timed. It was a really cool shot.
That up?
No, I really did for a second.
I
was
saw
like,
that
oh,
from a
shit.
few
And then it's like,
different
wait.
people, and I'm like, guys, I hope you understand. Like, there's a fuel tank back there. No one's
Yeah.
lighting shit on fire on purpose. Like, that's
It was
not.
the lowest IQ thought I've had in a long time, admittedly. But
Oh, no, that's
for half
okay.
a second, I was like, "Oh, holy shit!" And then I was like, "Oh, holy shit, he's on fire!" So
I do like the light show aspect of things. Doesn't work when the race ends and it's daylight out.
yeah.
Can you imagine how badass that would be, Larson, doing that in nighttime?
Oh, that yeah. I mean, the whole track burnout was really cool, and his car didn't catch on fire. Kudos to him.
Yeah. God, I hope they just fix the damn package.
Yeah, they.
Otherwise, I want a whole section of those stands taken out. I want you to turn Martinsville into a Roval, because that's the only way we can salvage this place at this point. The fans aren't going to keep showing up for this. I'm telling you that now.
Yeah,
Bristol Dirt delivered fine. All I'm saying, the short track package sucked. Dirt package seems kind of okay, kind of all right.
Let's take a race from Phoenix and Richmond and push them somewhere else.
They don't have enough short tracks to do it. That's the thing. Like, I mean, yeah, you go to Iowa instead of Phoenix, and that's a good replacement. I also think the championship race, that should be the only race for that track all year, and it shouldn't be in the same spot 2 years in a row.
Did you guys know that Chase Elliott won his first ever ARCA race at Iowa 2012?
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, I did. I was there.
I saw that on Twitter.
Suck
today.
it,
I was like,
Noah.
oh, that's kind of cool.
Oh no, we just out trivia'd your ass so bad.
Listen, man, I just saw it on Twitter today, and I was like, oh, that's pretty neat. I was living in a foreign country at the time, so that's like a void in my head.
Well, I told you to introduce yourself to people.
Okay.
You lived in
Yeah.
Where do you live? Why
I spent 4 years in England when I was a kid. My dad's job, we had to move around because he works for the government, and so I spent 4 years in England, 2010 to 2014. When I was elementary school, early middle school. So yeah, that's pretty cool. It was certainly an experience, but the 2011 through 2013 seasons for NASCAR are kind of a black void for me if it's not the Cup Series, because I wasn't able to watch because time difference and not having TV.
The streaming technology was certainly different.
Yes, exactly. Like I would go to bed and my mom would leave me sticky notes. So like Trevor Bayne won the Daytona 500. I had that one for a while.
That's a badass mom move.
Yeah, she's pretty cool for that.
Damon, what did your computer catch on fire?
I should have. I was doing too many burnouts. Feels like it's about to. Is that a problem?
Depends.
If it makes you feel better, we already made that joke too.
That's okay.
They mean me because I'm the intelligent one of the group.
Naturally.
Barely.
Figured.
You were
Barely.
silent for
Hey,
30
the
minutes.
bar is
But I
not that
am.
high. The bar is not that
Barely, but I
high.
am. Like, I will take barely, but still be the smartest.
You're sitting the farthest up front on the short bus, buddy. I don't know what you're saying right now.
Don't do that.
Again,
No,
bar's not that high.
Listen,
man.
I'll still take it.
We're gonna get canceled because of Noah.
Yeah,
My
we're gonna-
fault. Yeah.
Yeah, Noah has called for firing an entire car.
If you're on the
What else?
YouTube, I'm not sure I know exactly how to cut that portion of the video. I hope.
Apologies.
Yeah, just don't make a comment of it, please. Thanks. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
And you.
Well, that's our show.
Yeah.
Pretty much gonna be the end. I guess we gotta fit something else in because I gotta cut at least 40 seconds.
I think we've done enough damage tonight. Pack up shop.
Yeah.
trying to think of a debate that would get Damon going. Damon, Ryan Preece or Cole Custer?
After today's performance, probably Ryan Preece.
What?
Yeah, he won the first stage.
He was
But then he
leading.
went to the
he was
Probably would have been more
leading-
competitive if it wasn't for a penalty.
He was leading one
he-
of the most dominant track position racetracks or race events on the schedule in recent history, like the last 2 decades, and he sped on pit road.
Yeah.
That is the dumbest thing you can do. It's absolutely negligible and stupid.
I will understand
Today-
his thought process,
Today made
though.
me doubt his talent far more than last week's move.
Okay, but like, think of the thought process he had. Like,
Last week I doubted his maturity. Today he sped on pit road in the track position race. You don't get dumber than speeding on pit road in races like today. You don't.
But he was,
Actually, okay, you definitely do, but
yeah.
like Ty Gibbs not taking off his helmet in a fight, like stuff like that.
Or dumping his teammate who's
There's
gonna
plenty
get-
of examples
yeah.
you can poke holes in my argument there, but it's a stupid move. It's such a track performance dominant race. I thought today was much more egregious as is this guy talented than last week. Due
Well,
to the
you
fact
also
last week
have
was
to
more, is
remember-
this guy mature.
You have to remember he's probably working with the 4th best pit crew in Stuart Haas, so he's got to help him out any chance he can get.
That doesn't really do a lot of helping, does it?
Well, he pushed the limit to the near edge and then obviously over it. So it's
And
unfortunate.
they
He had
meant
lost the
he
race on
did
pit road all day before that, though.
he did mention that they were in full belief that with the first pit stall you could go full throttle out and not have to worry about speeding.
They talked about that on the broadcast. I remember him talking about
Yeah.
that.
It's weird to me. I don't know.
Connor, it's 4-on-1. You're
What?
Although,
you're the one who went out on this one.
although
You don't
I
think
will say
you don't
in
think
Connor's
it's just
defense-
dumb to speed on pit road in a track position race? Like that's open and shut case.
It happens
I
every
love
track
Bubba Wallace.
position
That was
race
a
we
stupid
have.
Stupid move today from Bubba Wallace to speed on pit road.
Truex did it. Kyle Busch did it. Like,
Truex is the only one that recovered, and that's because they had to do crazy, funny strategy to get him out of that hole to begin with. You
I'm
could
gonna
go to
say,
the
Truex
back,
was the only one that wasn't moving.
dude. Joey Logano had to go to the rear because of a water leak in a track position race, and he only made it back to the front because they did crazy, goofy strategy. That's the only thing that was going to fix it. It was doing stupid stuff to get track position. So, also, can we talk about, speaking of stupid stuff, NASCAR waiting a whole entire minute to throw the yellow for that tire?
Oh,
No,
just
I'm
when we
glad
thought we
you
covered
mentioned
it
that
all.
because it's really ridiculous that they don't have a single monitor in there for.
Well,
a
it
TV
completely changed the
broadcast.
race. Kozlowski was leading. He would have been the leader. So,
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have come down pit road had I seen the tire out there.
that's true.
I would put that on his team as much as I would NASCAR.
They needed NASCAR to save them from themselves, and that didn't happen.
You need Brad on the damn pit box if everyone else is gonna fucking miss it. He wouldn't. I
Yes.
know that much. And that is how
He's the
you-
team owner. He could have
that
just said,
is-
"No, I'm
that
not
is how
coming."
you
in."
rip on a whole team and then compliment the guy.
I think though, if Brad could have seen the tire just as easy as anybody on his pit box, I mean, he passed it twice.
Did he pass it?
At least once he had to have.
The
before he came
tire
down
was
pit
on
road?
the track for a cool minute.
It was
Yeah,
on the
but I
track
thought
for
he
like
came
3
down
full
I thought he
laps.
came down pit road and then we saw the tire. Because they saw the tire in the broadcast and they go, and Brad Keselowski just pitted. That's not good.
If that's the case, though, then the tire would have come off while he goes onto pit road, and there's no recovery once you commit there. Like when you
That makes
commit
sense.
at
I shouldn't even.
Martinsville-
Yeah, so we shouldn't even be poking fun at the team.
Yeah, because
Now I
when you
feel
commit
kind
at
of rude.
Martinsville, it's not like you're at Kansas or Texas or somewhere that's got a big runoff area before the commitment box.
But yeah, I feel like you're long pitting like that. You're gonna wait and see if the tire's falling off of the guy. You know.
I don't know, man. Like I said, I think they needed NASCAR to save themselves from themselves on that one, and it
Well-
didn't happen.
Their track record of doing that is not good.
Nope.
All right. Well, it looks like that's the show. We got Talladega next week. I'm hyped. My favorite track on the NASCAR schedule. World of Outlaws are at Knoxville Friday and Saturday night. Get down there. It's the best sprint car show, best sprint car product you'll see anywhere, and it's the home of the biggest race in sprint car racing, the Knoxville Nationals, that we'll be at later this year in August. Come down and see us. If you let me know, I will get you a beer at Dingus, but tweet me beforehand and warn me that you want that. I'll be down there this weekend. It'll be cool. I think there's a dirt truck race on Wednesday that we'll be at in Stewart. And then on Sunday, SLMR is at Stewart as well. So a lot of racing action coming up in the state of Iowa. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about breaking news. Might have a guest on Wednesday. It hasn't been decided yet. Appreciate you guys listening. Thanks again to the Carl Auto Group. Big shout out to them. And we will see you guys Wednesday night, Thursday morning, whenever you listen right here on the Always Race Day podcast presented by the Carl Auto Group.